Ladies and gentlemen, hello, welcome once again to another episode of CasualCraft. I'm your host RedRipz, and we're back here on, this time it's Neoplanet S for another game of StarCraft 2 Heart this one, with a Platinum versus Platinum game. Now I'm told it's quite an exciting game. Apparently there's some interesting moves in it. I've not seen it obviously, but in the description it said it was pretty interesting. So if I just swig my coffee, you'll notice I'm actually trying some new settings at the moment. So the black bars should be gone and it might look a little bit sharper, but I'll see how it goes. Things should be changing a bit. You're kidding me, this is a Fun Day Monday game. Really? If it is, we'll go with it. Anyway, the bottom left-hand corner anyway, we've got the red Protoss player, NinjaDuckBob. NinjaDuckBob here. In the bottom left-hand corner of Neoplanet S. And in the top right-hand corner of the map here, we have the blue Terran player, SPACEDOODLE. Yeah, drawing stuff in space. Now, they're discussing some sort of Fun Day Monday type thing, but there doesn't seem to be one for the week when they've actually played this game. So hopefully they're not going to be too weird and bizarre, really, because if there's Fun Day Monday games, you'll see them on Day 9's show, not on this. So we might still be up onto something interesting here. So let's just see what they're doing here. So with NinjaDuckBob's scout coming into the main base of our Terran player here, he'll be having a little glance around, see what's going on. He's not really going to be doing too much in the way of scouting. He's just going to have a little chill there on the back of the base, just going for it. Meanwhile, of course, Bob here is building his gateway first. So yeah, standard stuff. He's not trying to wall in or anything like that there. So we'll have to wait and see what he does there with that. Now, basically, I've had real difficulty with the videos because they've all been in 16:10. Size, for those who understand what I'm talking about, which is obviously standard monitor size for computers, but for the last few years everything's moved into 16:9 with the advent of HD TVs and things like that, so everything's moved towards 16:9, and I can't display it in 16:9, so I've had to go to windowed mode and adjust everything manually, and it's not necessarily the prettiest from where I'm sat, but from where you're sat it should look a whole lot better than it used to. Here as NinjaDuckBob's gateway is finishing up now in his base. So I get a second down out of SPACEDOODLE here. He's I think that was like barracks first with the command center just behind it. Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary here. It's always good to get your expansions out really early if you can. Same thing happening down here in the bottom left for NinjaDuckBob here. Both players are Platinum League players here, so I wouldn't expect perfect everything, but there should be some interesting play out of these guys. They know the game at least, they're not completely uneducated with regard to what's actually going on here. So yeah, that should be pretty exciting, I should hope. Now we're seeing not really much going on at the moment. Let's have a look. That's 7x core coming down out of NinjaDuckBob here. His simulator was really late there, to be honest, to be doing some sort of 4-gate pressure, and he's not building the first zealot or anything like that, so I don't think it's going to be a 4-gate. I think we might just see a gateway, well, it's gateway expand with a cyber behind it, so there's nothing really that interesting coming out here at this point. It's just usual sort of macro-y builds here out of our Protoss player. Now, I'm not quite sure what we'll be seeing yet at this stage. With the cyber core down, I'd imagine he's going warp gate, which is, fairly obvious thing whether or not you're going to air toss. So to be honest, I can't really tell at this stage what he's going to be doing. I mean, he's got a relatively early gas down, he's got an expansion down, so he's not going to be going for anything too early in the way of pressure, although all-ins and stuff are still perfectly feasible for the foreseeable future. Now, meanwhile, on the top right hand corner of the map, we've got SPACEDOODLE drawing up his army here. He's getting his supply depot together now. He's not actually going for any geysers whatsoever. It looks like he's just going 3 racks. We're going to start pumping out whole butt ton of Marines to sit here at the front and defend his base. I'd imagine he'll probably move out before too long if he's going through. No, actually, no, to be honest, there's only 3 racks down when he's got a second base. It's not actually that bad. 3 racks on a single base is often quite a large amount to be dealing with, but in these circumstances, I shouldn't imagine it'll be too much in the way of a problem. So I'm just going to just close something in the background there. Yep, cool. So this should be a relatively simple game. We're getting Twilight Council coming down out of NinjaDuckBob here now, with another gateway down and a 3rd gateway there. Nothing down on the front there yet. He's not even started probing up his expand there. So yeah, 1 gate, fast expand. Pretty much right. Yeah, that's what you're doing, mate. You're getting down a Twilight Council as well now. So we will be seeing probably some sort of Templars coming out here, I'd hope. Might have to wait and see on that one, but we'll have a look. We'll have a look. Yeah, as NinjaDuckBob's Stalker clears away that little scouting bit of information there now, he's going to be putting down his next layer of tech, starting off with the robotics facility, which obviously I'd imagine will be for the Immortals, and more gateways. So I think we'll probably see some sort of Immortal Stalker type death ball here, and then, oh, a Dark Shrine, okay. So it looks like we'll be seeing some DTs out this game. out of NinjaDuckBob here. And the best thing about DTs, to be honest, in Heart of the Swarm is the fact that they're just so much cheaper to get. It means that it's not really an all-in last-minute thing. It's more of a, I can afford to put DTs in this build kind of strategy. It's certainly more viable now than it was outside of all-in type techniques. Meanwhile, in SpaceDoodle, I keep calling them Space Dogs. Space Dog. In SpaceDoodle's base, we're getting the E-base down. We've got that's a stim coming out of there as well. We're seeing tech labs. What's that? Another tech lab. So yeah, I think we'll be seeing a lot of marauders out of here today. Since that's basically the main thing that you build out with your tech labs, unless he's going for some sort of really fast timing push. We'll see if he gets his stuff down for that. We're also getting factory and a extra command center down now, so it looks like we're going for a third base. Now, I'm not that strong on Terran builds, I'll be honest. I've been working on it, but I'm not that strong. However, this doesn't really look like anything much in the way of a build. It's just sort of just build some stuff and go and kill him, which is fair enough, really. I'm not that familiar with the double tech lab thing. I guess either he's late with it or he's rushing out the combat shield there to get a nice early marine pressure on. But to be honest, I'd probably want more in the way of reactors to just get out a shit ton of marines. You're much better off doing that, I think, than rushing the early upgrades. Because as good as the early upgrades are, if you can just get out a whole load of marines, and the fact that he's bothering to get 1-1 as well, to be honest, I'd think that he should be pushing out relatively early here. I mean, he's got his second base up and done now. He's got his third ready to move out as he pushes out. So yeah, I'd imagine, yep, there's the starport coming down. We're going to see some medivacs coming out to support this bioforce that he's getting together here. As the warp prism NinjaDuckBob comes in there. Now, he obviously didn't go directly for the immortal. He's warping in some DTs directly into the main base here of SpaceDoodle, who actually hasn't seen that whatsoever. Let's see how SpaceDoodle's going to react to this. Now, obviously, as a Terran, he can just scan the DTs to kill them, and they can actually be seen directly by the missile turret, which is sat here. So that's not particularly that nice for him to have to deal with, as not particularly difficult for him to deal with, as he doesn't even need to scan to actually see these DTs here. The SCVs should actually, to be honest, they probably should be attacking that thing instead of just losing their lives to it. Although we are seeing more and more DTs come in here, they're not really going to do that much. We're now getting an Archon here out of NinjaDuckBob in the main base of SpaceDoodle here. So this is not a standard move, to be honest, but it'll do. There's 2 DTs. One of them's nearly dead. Why not turn them into an Archon? And if he just moves that in, he can now start attacking this lot. Now, Archons do AoE damage when they attack. They sort of punch lasers beams out of their arms that do AoE and fall really quickly to surrounds like that. That wasn't really all that great. So behind that, obviously, NinjaDuckBob's moving in with his Zealot army now that he's got here with his 2 Stalkers and the Immortal at the front. These are going to be clearing up a whole bunch of stuff. There's not really... I mean, the thing is, the Archon brought the troops of SpaceDoodle to the back there, which kind of would have been good, but I'm not sure, to be honest, because at this moment SpaceDoodle's got so many more troops than NinjaDuckBob that he's just not going to be able to push through this force here, and all these troops are just going to straight up die. To be honest, even the SCVs were doing a whole lot of damage to the Immortals there, so I don't really know how much damage was really done there. I mean, yeah, he's killed 22 workers, which has put SpaceDoodle massively behind in that respect, but SpaceDoodle's the one with the army here at this point in the game, although NinjaDuckBob is going to be warping in more and more Zealots, so it does look like we'll be getting some constant pressure here out of him. If we just have a little look around, actually, no, that is the entirety of the SCVs left there. Sorry, I thought he had a few more left at the top there. I thought he'd continued building them, but apparently he's slowed right down in that respect. So actually, SpaceDoodle's come miles and miles behind in this game now all of a sudden. Despite having a bit of an army out, NinjaDuckBob can just keep warping in more and more troops and causing bother in his main base here. And as long as NinjaDuckBob can keep SpaceDoodle in the main base until he's got his own army rebuilt back in his own base, he's going to be pretty safe. It's looking very nice for him there. Now, obviously, we've got the Robotics Bay coming down here. This means we'll be seeing some Colossi coming out of the Robotics Bay before too long. And he does have his Immortal there on the way out there as well. That'll provide some great ground support, especially against the Marauders and stuff like that. Anything armoured, this guy will go straight through. So Marauders aren't armoured, are they? Actually, I don't know. We'll see anyway. So, God, I'm really exposing some gaps in my Terran game knowledge here. I'm definitely the weakest. Terran's definitely my weakest race as far as game knowledge goes, so I will be working on that. And I mean, I've been playing a whole load of Terran anyway, just to try and get my shit together with them, really, because no, I'm not the best Terran player, but yeah, my Protoss and Zerg's much better, so hopefully I should be able to make do with that for the time being while I learn the other race through and through. Now, we're seeing charge lots coming out here out of NinjaDuckBob. This is obviously if you're going to be going heavy Zealots, a whole bunch of charge lots is really good because you just allows them to get into combat much easier. It's also a great counter to the concussive shells upgrade, which you get on your Marauders. I'm not actually sure if he's got that yet. No, he hasn't got concussive shells, which it just allows you to get your troops in much more quickly with the charge lot upgrade there, and that allows you to get your surround on and sort basically engage the force properly, and then the Immortals should be able to sit back and just blow stuff up behind that while we wait for the Colossi to arrive. Now, we've just seen SPACEDOODLE move out here, obviously with his 4 Medivacs and his little Bioforce there. I think they're all on 1-1. Yep, they are now, so this is some sort of, I guess, a 1-1 timing push, you could call it. However, I'm not sure if he's going to get through this. Now, with the Stim there and some Medivacs behind, he should be able to do a lot of damage as long as he kites back and doesn't let the Zealots get too much in after their initial charge. That was, to be honest, very well dealt with there. There wasn't really any further sort of engagement out of NinjaDuckBob. They pretty much ignored the thing, which is really, really unfortunate, to be honest. This could go either way, I think, at this point. If we just keep microing back here, SPACEDOODLE should be pretty safe. As obviously the Medivacs can just sort out so much. And he's actually picked up a whole bunch of troops then as well to save them. I didn't really like the move out then, to be honest. I think he could have probably got through that army if he'd microed a little bit harder, and also just perhaps even just dropped some of those troops into the main base instead of just disappearing, forcing. I mean, 'cause all these units would have to run right round here just to get up into the main, when you could just pick up and drop like right in down here and do a whole load of damage. You could have taken out some of these buildings, that sort of thing. I mean, there are cannons in behind this, but like, to be honest, cannons are only so much in the way of defensive. And yeah, actually now SPACEDOODLE is going to be taking advantage of this as he does move in with his 2 Medivacs around the back here. This is behind obviously the 3rd base expansion that he's got out now, and there's the same thing coming out of NinjaDuckBob here. So we'll have to wait and see if we can get any pressure out of either player to slow down those expansions at all. As the we're getting the drop now from SPACEDOODLE here. 2 Medivacs full of Marines and Marauders. He's be healing up obviously as they come out, because quite handily they're already on relatively low health, which allows the Medivac to start healing up straight away as the robotics facility does fall there. Robotics bay does fall there, and that's going to be really, really irritating, frankly, because it means we can't build any more Colossi here for NinjaDuckBob there, so he's going to have to get another one of those up before he can get that out again. Meanwhile, we're seeing 2 upgrades come out of SPACEDOODLE here as he does sit and just take out more and more buildings in the main base of NinjaDuckBob here. Really, he's just working on the tech here, and this SimCity of NinjaDuckBob is really not that good for this, because SPACEDOODLE can, as you can see, just drop into these little gaps here, and because of the shape of the buildings and stuff, he can just hide in amongst that, and there's not really anything stopping him from doing that. You can only really get a couple of Zealots in on either end, and obviously these DTs have scared this off now, which, I mean, they could have probably been dealt with a scan of some sort, but there's only so much you can do with that, especially when you're busy at the front line here of his own base, defending against this little push that's going on here. Now, I don't know quite if NinjaDuckBob's going to be able to get back from this. It's not looking particularly good considering this attack's being pushed out now. The last of the Mortals will be falling, and so will the Colossi. So yeah, that's really unfortunate that NinjaDuckBob. I mean, it was a nice idea to try and push out while SPACEDOODLE's in your base, but unfortunately SPACEDOODLE left enough forces at home there just to completely cover it. There's really not much NinjaDuckBob could have done there. So yeah, with that in mind, so we'll see NinjaDuckBob getting his crap together and hopefully be doing something in the way of just anything that might get him back into this game, really. I'm trying to think what he could possibly do. I mean, at this point, his economy is pretty good. It's much better than SPACEDOODLE's, frankly, after the massacre that SPACEDOODLE's economy saw at the hands of those DTs earlier in the game. To be honest, SPACEDOODLE's managed to get right back on his feet, and we're actually now finding NinjaDuckBob completely behind here. As SPACEDOODLE's moving into his 3-3 upgrades now, it's all looking very good. So the Duck is actually in the frying pan at this point. We're going to be seeing some real issues for him here unless he can get some sort of force together. Now, Archon's great unit against this sort of Bioforce. Anything that clumps up together like this with lots of units, Archons are great against. Any sort of AoE is always good against Bio, because of the way that the units clump together. I mean, it very much depends on the Terran's ability to split. If the Terran player can keep all his units apart, then it's a lot more difficult to do that AoE damage. However, there's no easy way of doing that beyond manually splitting all the troops yourself. So with that in mind, it's going to be quite difficult for SPACEDOODLE here. We'll have to see if his Platinum League micro is quite up to this. Now, meanwhile, of course, NinjaDuckBob's gathering his army up at the top here. I think he knows this is coming. As we do send a little drop up to the top here, and I imagine SPACEDOODLE will be dropping into the 3rd here at the back, just making sure that this army's kept in place here at the front of this, dealing with this, while he moves his own army back. And I'd imagine I thought he might come in down the bottom at the same time as this, like for a dual-pronged attack, hoping to split up NinjaDuckBob's army, as NinjaDuckBob was completely behind for that stage now, although he's actually catching up on supply again. Here as SPACEDOODLE just move into this base, and this actually will be falling here as NinjaDuckBob actually helps him with that with his Zealots there. That was a really unfortunate mistake there for NinjaDuckBob, as he does help to take out his own Nexus there in his own 3rd base. And yeah, it's the sort of mistake that, like, I mean, you see this in all leagues, to be honest. This isn't just a low league thing, and like, not that Platinum is a particularly low league by any measure, but it's just an unfortunate mistake there for NinjaDuckBob, as he actually aided SPACEDOODLE in taking down the Nexus, even though I think, to be honest, SPACEDOODLE probably would have taken that out without too much bother anyway. If you can move your Marines in among these mineral lines and like stop them from getting too much of a basically surface area on your troops, like, because all the zealots obviously are close combat. If you can do that and stop the zealots from surrounding your troops, then you just survive so much longer, because each zealot has, like, they have to queue up to get into the combat there. Meanwhile, of course, we're seeing the Archons and that gather up the front. We've got more Colossi coming out now, and a little DT force here as well. And actually, to be honest, it's not as unbalanced as it could be, really. I mean, SPACEDOODLE's definitely ahead. He's got his third base up and running. I mean, there's not a great deal of SCVs in there, but there are some. Meanwhile, behind this, he's been getting out ghosts. He's building up his personal cloaking and also getting the reactor for the ghosts. So I'd imagine we'll see a whole bunch of ghosts out to help deal with these Archons. Now, obviously, ghosts can use their EMP, which gets rid of the Archon shields, and since Archons are basically all shield, they will literally just die the second their shields fall. So ghosts are really, really strong against Archons. If you can get all those EMPs off, it very much does just go through the army there. However, if you're a little bit too late, like unfortunately we are at the moment, it looks like this AoE army might just be able to carve a hole through the middle of SPACEDOODLE's force here, as this massive AoE force of Colossi and Archons just pushes through and completely wipes out SPACEDOODLE's force. That was really unfortunate there for the player then. I genuinely thought he might actually be able to push that back and get away with it, but with such an AoE force there and not yet enough ghosts out, that was really quite difficult for him, despite the damage that he'd done to NinjaDuckBob. Yeah, that was unfortunate. I mean, at this point, the game's to be honest, I think the game's definitely over there. I mean, yeah, you've got 7 medivacs out, but there's literally nothing else. If you have a look at the units tab there, there's 6 actual men on the floor plus 7 medivacs. There's more medivacs than actual ground units at this stage of the game for SPACEDOODLE there, which is so unfortunate against that sort of AoE army. There's really very little you can do with the Bioforce other than just split up really hard, get a whole bunch of Marauders out to try and tank some of the damage, and just desperately try and survive it and hold it, because with that sort of AoE, it's really difficult to deal with the Bioforce. I mean, obviously things like Vikings might have been nice to help take down the Colossi. Although I suppose once you push the robotics facility, the robotics bay back, obviously killed that off in the main base of our Protoss player when it was here. Once that was killed, I guess he was assuming that there wouldn't be any Colossi for a little bit. But obviously, once you rebuild that, you can go straight back to building your Colossi, and yeah, the fun begins there for NinjaDuckBob as he did end up taking the game. So yeah, well, hopefully the quality this time was a little bit better. I think my casting was probably a little bit underwhelming today. Once again, to be honest, I'm feeling a little bit rubbish today. But I'll get my shit together. It's going to be a lot better over the next few casts, I hope. And ideally, hopefully the video quality should be at least sorted out now to a standard that's much more acceptable for YouTube. Because God, those black bars have been annoying the crap out of me. So well, thanks once again. I've been RedRipz, your Dreadlock caster, and cheers and GG to both players.